Hey guys, it's Don for the OSBGL, and I'm back again with another hobby vlog. And it's only been about a month this time, so I'm getting better, a little more consistent. Um, I've noticed that since I've been filming these, it's been motivating me a little bit to do hobby work, and I've made some progress on other pieces as well. I'm just not one of those people that can start a project and work on just that project until it's done. My way is if you're not working on five things at the same time, then you're doing something wrong. But let's take a look at where I am with the Osgiliath ruins right now. So this is where I am. I've managed to get my ruins assembled and primed and painted, and I've glued them down to the polystyrene hill that I made. I've primed the stairs, all the Hearst blocks, and I haven't started dry brushing that yet. I've also painted this, as you can see, brown. And for both of these things here, I'm just using a latex paint. Cheap, easily to get. In fact, this I went to my local DIY store and picked it up in their sort of discount bin. I just got them to mix me up black paint, and I have another brown can over there that I use for priming, basically polystyrene hills. But that's where I am with that. The next step I have to do, I've got to obviously dry brush all of this, and you may notice that I've pulled the gravel off here that I had just because I wasn't happy with it. What I ended up doing was I buy stuff in bulk. Like for terrain projects, you just can't buy the small packages of terrain materials or basing materials. You have to buy stuff in bulk. So this is what I bought. For years I used a bird gravel for my gravel for my terrain pieces. And it's quite a fine gravel, but I've finally run out, and it's been years since I've bought that, and I've had a lot of trouble trying to find a replacement. So I bought that other stuff there, and it ended up being too coarse. So after some searching around, I managed to find this with the help of some of our members. Pointed me at Michael's here in Canada, and I bought this, which is perfect for what I need, and that's for large areas of coverage for gravel, which I'll apply with PVA, and then probably paint and put another coat of watered down PVA over top of it. I also I also managed to find these two statues, which are part of this Osgiliath set. And this was my idea here. I made spots for both those statues to go, but after some consideration, I'm definitely not going to put this one here because, let's face it, these are just going to get busted off of here during gaming. So what I'm going to do there is I have this other piece here, and I'm not sure which set this came from, but I'm going to lay that one there as kind of the fallen statue. And then over on this side, I will try to magnetize this statue to that part of the base. And I've also primed up and painted some small bits of ruins, and again, these are from the other piece that I was showing you, sort of the older 40K Gothic. It came with some of these small pieces of rubble. So I still have like a bag full of these things from quite a long time ago, but they come in handy, and I'll try to work some of those in here. While I've been doing this, just move on down the row here and I'll show you some of the other stuff I've been working on. You can probably see this one a little bit better now because it's not all just pure black. I've dry brushed all this as well with 2 or 3 different layers of gray. And this one's getting ready to be finished. I've dry brushed all of the stonework and the flooring, and I'm just working now on all of the sort of dirt. I'm painting that brown, and that'll need dry brushing and possibly inking, and then I'll add some flock and bits, and this one should be done. It's pretty much getting there, so hopefully I can get that one out of the way, because I'm going to be needing the space on this table. You can see my table is pretty much taken over by terrain projects now, because once you get started on one, you may as well just go crazy. This is my Frostgrave / Lord of the Rings terrain piece that I've been working on. You can see that I added these covers to the crenellations here, and I've primed the whole thing. Over here I've got another kit that I've had for a while, have to start working on, and this is from Plastcraft Games, and they have probably about half a dozen different buildings that are suitable for this type of game. They're kind of like, I would say, almost the cheaper version of, say, a foreground. Like, they're pre-cut card, but nothing's painted, and they come with resin doors and windows that you can just plug into the piece. But they do require more work. It is sort of a modeling and painting project to get that done, but I'm going to try building one and see how it goes before I decide to get any more. This I dug out. I've been meaning to get this one fixed up. This is my old Warhammer 40k display base that I've had for years and years, and seeing as I'm not playing that game anymore, I wanted to convert it over for Lord of the Rings, but it's just too big for a Lord of the Rings army. So what I've done is I've taken the edging off, and you probably can't see it here, but I've drawn a line here that I'm going to cut that part of the board off and cut that part of the board off to make this smaller and more appropriate for a Lord of the Rings Hobbit army. And then I'll probably have to do a bit of touch-up work, and like I've torn a whole bunch of stuff off here. So the tough part is I'm going to need to get access to my table saw and very carefully cut this stuff off. But you can see over here and under here is my table saw is holding up this end of my table. So that's going to have to require a little bit of tricky work. And then of course I have my big box of Goblin Town terrain, which a lot of people probably have. And I don't know, I love this terrain. It's amazing stuff, but I'm just not interested in building it the way that it shows in the box, with just a bunch of these large platforms sitting on the table and raised platforms. I've seen some really nice pieces done with this, and I want to make something nice using this terrain, but it just hasn't come to me yet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get to this one or I'll substitute it with something else that I'm ready to proceed on. And you can see here, actually, I recently just got a new electric, this is actually a hot knife, so I've finally got something to replace my really old foam cutter with a newer version, and a huge 10-pound tub of hydrocal from the Canadian Sculpture Supply store downtown. Actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about this, because we all end up with these, right? Sprues. And I don't know about you guys, but I just hate throwing these things in the garbage, just because it just seems environmentally wrong somehow, and always think that you should be able to build something out of this, but you never can quite figure out what to do with it. But I came up with something that I use it for, and it takes quite a bit of patience, and you need one of these. But what I do is I take these sprues and I cut these long straight lengths off, and after a while you end up with a pile of those. And just while you're watching TV, if you can sort of save your, like I save these tubs, it's like a peanut butter container, and what I do is I clip all of these into very small lengths of about 1/2 centimeter long until I get a tub filled with this stuff, like that. And eventually it becomes like one of your tubs of gravel or whatever, and you can use it for your terrain projects. And you can see what I use it for over here on this piece is it makes amazing rubble, and you can just put that down with PVA and stick that stuff to it and paint it, prime it and paint it alongside the rest of the ruin. You can see over here on this, I've actually done some of this right here, and this hasn't been painted yet. I actually just glued this down, and I actually masked this area with tape and then primed this with spray paint, a gray spray paint. But I'll paint it black and dry brush it. And what I do is I put down a fairly large amount of PVA, drop this stuff down on top of it, and then I pour gravel over top of that. So any of the exposed PVA will pick up the gravel, and it helps bind all this together. And it looks better as well. And this kind of stuff, it also helps hold the piece down to whatever surface you're mounting it to. So that's just something I do with this. It takes a lot of patience. I just usually, when I end up with a lot of sections of the sprue, I'll just grab my clippers and grab my tub, and just while I'm watching TV or a movie, I'll just clip all that stuff, and add it to the pile. But that's where I am now. So I'm really hoping to get rid of this big piece here, because I got another terrain project that I need to add to the table, and it's a big one, so it's going to take up a lot of space. And that's about it for today. Showing some good progress here. So hopefully next time when I come back, I'll have quite a bit done on this. I want to have the base fully done of the polystyrene, and you can see over here I've added a little bit more to my big stack of Hearst stuff. I molded a whole bunch of these tiles because I'm going to tile the inside of this whole area here. I'm going to tile, and that's all going to have to be primed and painted and fitted in, because getting the tile to come in around all this stuff is going to be a little bit of work. But I hope to get all that done for the next video, and I'll get my gravel put in here. I'm going to need to add some more rubble down in here and add some more pieces to this sort of large area here. Yeah, and that's it for today. So we'll see you again next time. And for anybody in Ontario, please come out to our events in Ontario and join our Facebook group, the Ontario Strategy Battle Game League. Okay guys, thanks. See you later.